It's a place you've probably heard of, a place you've driven past or flown over, but may never have visited. It's got more sophistication than you can shake a conductor's baton at, yet enough down-home smiles to earn it the title of America's friendliest city. It's a place with a great lake, a high falls, and an Erie Canal. It's a community whose historical roots date back more than 200 years, yet remain close enough to the surface that you can see them almost anywhere you look. It's home to corporate giants like Kodak, Xerox, and Bausch & Lomb. And it's home to family-owned neighborhood businesses that have welcomed customers for generation after generation. It's a place where families love to live and visiting families love to return. That place is Rochester, New York.
First time in Rochester? Well, you're in for some big and very special surprises.
Whether you're here to raise your kids for a lifetime or just entertain them for the weekend, Rochester is a great place for families.
By land or sea, or by the seat of your pants. You can't help but have fun in Rochester.
Join us as we welcome you to Rochester, New York. A place you can enjoy for the next few minutes, for a long weekend, or for the rest of your life.
So, this is your first visit to Rochester, and you haven't been to the High Falls yet? Well, that's just got to be one of your first stops. Come on, I'll take you there.
One of the first things visitors notice about Rochester is all the water. The greater Rochester area spreads out along the banks of the Genesee River and on the southern shore of Lake Ontario. The river and the Great Lake have played an important part in Rochester's history. Today, visitors and residents venture to water's edge and beyond for rest, relaxation, and recreation. Rochester is also home to the Erie Canal, one of the most famous waterways in America. It was the opening of the Erie Canal in 1825 that speeded western expansion into the young nation's interior by opening an aquatic artery of commerce to the rest of the world. Nowadays, the Erie's emphasis is transportation as good fun rather than transporting goods. Just to the south of Rochester, you'll find the beautiful Finger Lakes region with its stunning landscapes, glacier-carved lakes, and world-renowned collection of wineries. The centerpiece of Rochester's waterways is the High Falls, just north of downtown. Cascading nearly 100 feet, High Falls earns its name as one of the tallest urban waterfalls anywhere.
Here it is, the High Falls. Not your average downtown cataract, that's for sure. But then Rochester's not your average city. It has quite a story that begins and continues today, right here.
More than 200 years ago, the seedling that would become Rochester was sown by Ebenezer Allen, who built the area's first of many flour mills near the High Falls in 1789. From that moment, Rochester's existence would forever be tied to its water. The High Falls and its flour mills, the Erie Canal and its barges, Lake Ontario with its steamers and freighters. By the 1830s, the opening of the Erie Canal led Rochester to become America's first boomtown. The boom continues today as thousands descend on the High Falls Entertainment District for its restaurants, festivals, and laser light shows. Long before Allen's arrival, Native American life flourished here. The Seneca tribe of the Iroquois Nation hunted, traded, and farmed along the Genesee. Today, their society is celebrated at both the Rochester Museum and Science Center and the State Historic Site at Ganondagan in nearby Victor. Rochester also became the home of abolitionist Frederick Douglass, who came here in 1845 and published his Journal of Freedom, the North Star, right here on Main Street. His efforts to help black Americans fleeing oppression and slavery is honored by a statue located in Highland Park, the first statue ever raised in this country to recognize an African American. For 40 years, beginning in 1847, Susan B. Anthony lived and fought for women's rights from her Rochester home. Her arrest for attempting to vote here became a pivotal event in the women's suffrage movement. Now, area visitors can learn of her triumphant struggles for women's rights at both the Susan B. Anthony House and the Women's Rights National Historic Park in nearby Seneca Falls. Industrial history was made here, too. George Eastman built his photographic empire here, and his company, Eastman Kodak, introduced the simple pleasure of saving memories to millions of American families.
Hey, why don't we save a memory of your visit to Rochester with a quick photo? You know, if it wasn't for George Eastman, this wouldn't be so easy or so much fun.
With Interstate 90 and 390 converging on Rochester, driving here is a snap. The Greater Rochester International Airport is your highway to the sky, with nearly 300 flights a day. And if you prefer your travel a little closer to the ground, you can ride the rails into Rochester's modern downtown Amtrak station. Getting around Rochester is just as easy. Downtown, you can walk to just about anything. When you're driving out and about, you can zip from one end of town to the other in 15 minutes on Rochester's extensive expressway system. Want to enjoy the lively sounds of Rochester's nightlife? It's easy. Easy Rider, that is. Enjoy an evening on the town riding this complimentary downtown shuttle service. And our downtown guides are always happy to help. Rochester wasn't named America's friendliest city for nothing.
So you have kids. Why didn't you say so? I should introduce you to a friend of mine. She knows it all when it comes to family fun in Rochester.
So, you're looking for family fun in Rochester, huh? Well, you've come to the right place, I'll tell you that. Sit down for a few minutes. Let me fill you in.
Even the tough-to-please kids in your clan will be thrilled with all that Rochester offers. You'll find plenty of attractions and activities ranging from big fun for little ones to non-serene and extreme for your teens. For man-made thrills, check out the scenic and historic Sea Breeze Amusement Park, overlooking the shores of Lake Ontario. For more natural thrills, come face-to-face with polar bears and sea lions in the underwater viewing gallery at the Seneca Park Zoo. Want to stroll back through time? Visit the America of a century ago at nearby Genesee Country Village and Museum. It's the third largest living history museum in the U.S. Here you can talk to a blacksmith at work or see what it feels like to sit in a real one-room schoolhouse. Your kids can even play with the collection of toys from the days when joystick meant something you dragged along a picket fence. Can't make up your mind? Then take the gang to a festival. There are nearly 100 throughout the year. The Century Feast of the Lilac Festival in May, Waterfront Fun at Harborfest in June, the visual celebration of the Cornhill Arts Festival, and the Celebration of Sounds at the Rochester Music Fest in July, the Clothesline Art Festival in September, and a tribute to our waterways at River Romance in October. Spring, summer, and fall. There's always something special happening in Rochester.
Rochester summers are great, just right for outdoor fun. Lucky for me, though, my kids have just as much fun indoors as out around here.
Your kids can enjoy the most fun and interactive history lesson they'll ever have at the Strong Museum. From America's only full-scale reproduction of Sesame Street to a kid-sized Wegmans grocery store to a glass-enclosed carousel, your kids will have a blast. Nearby, there's more hands-on family fun at the Rochester Museum and Science Center, along with the star-filled spectacle of the Strassenberg Planetarium. Just down East Avenue is one of Rochester's leading attractions, the stately mansion and beautiful grounds of the International Museum of Photography at the George Eastman House. Here you'll find an amazing display of art and technology. Everybody loves to take pictures, and at the Eastman House, your whole family will discover the magic, art, and science of photography. And hey, culture's great, but everyone loves to shop. From the quaint shops of Park Avenue to skylit supermalls, Rochester offers a vast sea of shopping opportunities just waiting for you to explore.
Hey, you guys. I love to see the kids having fun. But let's face it, sometimes it's best just to wave goodbye to the gang for a little while. And you know what else? After all of these years of living in Rochester, we're still discovering great little hideaways and romantic spots.
In Rochester, the getaway starts right down the street. You can choose from hundreds of quaint inns, cafes, bistros, and restaurants. A night on the town can mean listening to the world-class Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra, taking in a nationally touring Broadway production. or enjoying the intimate theater experience at Jiva. Rochester's live music scene in the vibrant East End Entertainment District features both promising local artists and legends of the national music scene. The night is young, and so are you when you visit Rochester. Of course, around Rochester, romance isn't just for nighttime anymore. You can rediscover each other as you discover the nearby Finger Lakes region with its wineries, botanical gardens, and quaint communities. If gazing at the sun as it sinks into the sea means romance to you, an excursion along the Seaway Trail could be just what you need. As the longest national scenic byway, the Seaway Trail leisurely wanders along 454 miles of freshwater shoreline from the waters of Lake Erie all the way to the Thousand Islands. Rochester is the perfect hub for exploring the many picturesque harbor towns, historic lighthouses, and beaches just waiting to welcome you to a relaxing stroll. Discover Rochester and rediscover the romance.
If your husband's anything like mine, he's going to want to get out into the great outdoors. Well, there's plenty more of that coming right up.
Hey, who needs the ocean when you can get all the fight you're looking for right out here on Lake Ontario? I love the water, don't you? Come on, I'll show you some of my favorite spots.
Rochester is a paradise for sportsmen and sportswomen alike. From spring until fall, you can cast your reel for salmon, lake trout, rainbows, and crappie. Summer to fall, the bass and muskie are hitting. And you don't need your own boat to enjoy Rochester's waters. There are a number of professional fishing charter services happy to gear you up for a day of fun. If you love the water, but you don't like the worms, you can skim along Rochester's waterways with a full sail and a stiff breeze. The wide open waters of Lake Ontario make for terrific sailing. And there's Irondequoit Bay for scenic pleasure cruising. Of course, not everyone has their own yacht, but you can enjoy the area's waterways just the same on one of many relaxing and beautiful cruise vessels. You can take a leisurely cruise down the best 100 miles of the Erie Canal to one of many nearby communities. You can even rent and reside on a packet boat like those that ply the canals of Europe and enjoy the Erie for a day or a month. If you want your water recreation simpler yet, there's always the trusty canoe. An excursion exploring the banks of the Genesee can be the perfect way to get away from it all.
I know. You want more than just water sports, right? Well, sling that golf bag over your shoulder or put on your hiking boots, and I'll give you the land-based tour.
If Rochesterians have a love affair with any one sport, it's golf. Rochester is one of America's premier golfing communities, with more than 40 public courses. Think of it, Rochester is one of the few places in America where you can catch a 30-pound salmon in the morning and roll in a 30-foot putt in the afternoon. And if you don't have the patience to play it, you can join the thousands who show up each spring to watch the best women pros play in the Wegmans Rochester International. The U.S. Open, U.S. Amateur, Ryder Cup, and PGA Championship have all called Rochester home. The Rochester area also features some of the finest municipal and state parks anywhere, with hundreds of miles of biking, hiking, and skiing trails to put color in the cheeks and smiles in the faces of the whole family. You can bike along the historic Erie Canal and hike in the 600-foot deep gorge of Letchworth State Park. So no matter what's your pleasure, there's no excuse for not having fun around Rochester.
When you're done on the water, or the links, or the trails, you might want to sit back and watch somebody else working hard at playing hard. Well, you're in luck. Rochester is also a great city for spectator sports.
You may not think of Rochester as a major league sports town, but when you're sitting in the middle of 11,000 screaming Rhino soccer fans at Frontier Field, or Amherst hockey fans and Nighthawk lacrosse fans at the Blue Cross Arena, you'll feel the major league excitement. And you'll enjoy bringing a family of 4 to a game for the price of 1 major league ticket, too. If America's pastime is more to your liking, you'll have a tough time beating the atmosphere of family fun, rich tradition, and good value of watching a Red Wings baseball game at Frontier. Prefer the sport of kings? Trot down to nearby Finger Lakes Racetrack and test your luck. And the fun isn't just limited to the pros. you may be pleasantly surprised by the variety of world-class amateur sporting events here. If you simply must check out what's happening with the Yankees or the Bulls, you'll find dozens of bustling pubs around town filled with friendly, fun-loving folks just like you.
So come on, join me and my friends in Rochester. We'll save you a good seat.